Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. So the NBA season is over, and we did talk about the Knicks here earlier on the channel. Um, I didn't think I was having to revisit this, and I probably should have seen this coming. Mike Budenholzer got fired by the Phoenix Suns on Monday after going 36 and 46. The Suns missed the play-in; they missed just the playoffs altogether. Just an incredibly disappointing season. Um, Mike Budenholzer's a good coach, but it wasn't a good fit. Yes, the only thing that really tied in this is if it was from Arizona. And, the Phoenix Suns really have done something quite remarkable because since the end of the 2023 season, they have now had three coaches. They're looking at, since the, in the last 2 years, they're going to be hiring their they're going to have their fourth head coach. They're going to be hiring their third one in the last 23, 24 months. Like, it's remarkable. They fire Monty Williams, who there really wasn't anything wrong with him. He had that was kind of a shock. Then Frank Vogel comes in. They go 49 and 33, get swept in the playoffs, and they still fire him. And then they bring in Mike Budenholzer, and they get worse, and they still fire him. So this organization has managed to do something that not even my Cleveland Browns have been able to do. Because my Cleveland Browns, for those who follow the NFL, the Browns have been a dumpster fire for quarterbacks and head coaches, and have been a place to go to die, where your careers go to die. But the Phoenix Suns, before the little boom period that they had, and they ultimately got to the finals, and they were kind of this contending team that led to them getting Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. This organization was a joke under Robert Sarver. And I didn't think it could possibly get any worse than what they had. But then when Robert Sarver sold this team to Matt Ishbia has proceeded to just completely screw this organization over to the nth degree, to the point where there's real, and Brian Windhorst has talked about this on ESPN, where the only way out is they're going to basically have to sell off stuff just for draft capital, and maybe have to eat a bad contract to try and rebuild this thing, because they have no means really to grow. And with the Western Conference getting younger and getting more talented, like with teams like Houston, with teams like Oklahoma City, I mean, Golden State's going to have to rebuild at a certain point, but you've got them, you've got Minnesota with Anthony Edwards. Um, the Grizzlies are still really young, although I don't know what their future is going to hold, because Ja Morant is just such a head case. But there's a lot of young, talented teams. The Clippers have been really good. So it's just like, I don't know what the path forward is for the Phoenix Suns. And really, this was just the cherry on top of the shit Sunday. Literally, they have gone back to back one and done coaches. That is really hard to do in any sport. It's hard to do it one time, but to do it in back to back seasons is really unbelievable. And it shows you just how bad they've been at, talent evaluation. It shows you how much the owner has kind of meddled in business, because James Jones is a pretty good executive and did a pretty good job of building this Phoenix Suns team. And they did a pretty good job of drafting, but they've traded away all their draft assets. They've gotten over the hill stars. They're boxed in with this Bradley Beal contract, and their only asset is Devin Booker, who is starting to really hit the peak of his prime, and he's got no one to work with. He's got nobody. Like, they traded away DeAndre Ayton. They traded away Chris Paul, who was older. They traded away Cam Johnson. They traded away Mikal Bridges. Like, I don't know what this future holds. Like, Kevin Durant's going to get traded this offseason. The Knicks have been rumored. It would honestly be hilarious if Mikal Bridges, after all of this, after the 5 first-round picks at the Knicks, it would be hilarious if all this is just a roundabout way to get Mikal Bridges back to, or hell, if they could go to Brooklyn, it would be a roundabout way. Although I don't foresee Kevin Durant going back to Brooklyn in this scenario. But the point is, it's just a wild series of events for a team that, I mean, I didn't think that I didn't think they were a championship team. I thought they'd make the playoffs. At least I thought they'd make the play-in. They didn't make either one of those. This is one of the most disappointing teams of each of the last 2 seasons, because they were set up for success 2 years. They were set up for success under Frank Vogel. Gets run out of the playoffs by Minnesota, run out of it, and then this year you can't even get basically a Dallas Mavericks team that was begging you to take over them in the 10 spot. I could talk to any Mavs fan. They did not want to be in this play-in tournament. They did not want to be in this play-in tournament because they know that they're kind of doomed with all the stuff that happened with their trade. But at the same time, the fact that Phoenix couldn't get into this thing is just it's a remarkable failure because Kevin Durant, for his age, is still playing really damn good basketball. Devin Booker's a phenomenal player. Bradley Beal, I didn't get that move. I like Bradley Beal, but it just hasn't worked out. And they're kind of boxed in because I mean, Washington gave him that no trade clause, and it is what it is, man. But this is one of the biggest failures, maybe in sports history, because again, I'll say it again: my Cleveland Browns are dysfunctional in football, and they've had a lot of head coaches, but it is really, really difficult to move off of back-to-back coaches year after year and do it a one and done season. Like to be looking to hire your third coach in 2 years is ridiculous. It's embarrassing. And this team really has no future. So Matt Ishbia is clearly one of the worst owners in all of professional sports. You don't want somebody who's meddling in basketball business. It sucks for James Jones, who actually did a really good job with this team. And as much as I want to blame Kevin Durant, it's not really his fault that every piece of this team just didn't fit together. Like he's wanted to go in and out of situations and kind of cherry pick off of it. But a lot of this is laying at the feet of ownership. And, you know, you can't hire the right head coach. Looking back, I mean, it's easy to say firing Monty Williams was a mistake because he immediately went to Detroit and got fired within a season, having one of the worst seasons in Detroit Pistons history and one in the worst seasons in NBA history. So Monty Williams is a good coach, but now you look at this thing with Phoenix and you're just like, what the hell happened? So just a remarkable failure. And, it's really insane that we're not going to see this team in the playoffs. And it's even more insane that they're going to be looking for another head coach. But it's just, I really don't know what the future holds for this team. I don't know who they're going to hire. I don't know what this roster is going to look like, but it's one of the biggest modern failures, not just in NBA history and sports history, because the level of talent, the level of coaching ability, and just you not being able to piece it together, it's really just a failure of epic proportions. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.